Hello all, welcome back to our Data Karma channel. We've started to focus on learning Microsoft Excel functions from our previous video, and in this video we will try to focus on how to use count, COUNTIF and COUNTIFS functions with specific use cases related to them. Let us start with the count function. It is used to count the number of cells within a specified range that contain only numeric values, which implies it ignores empty cells, cells containing text data, any logical values, if there are any errors, or any non-numeric data. Syntax for this function is simple. We just have to say is equals to count of value 1 comma value 2 comma so on and so forth, where value 1 is the first value or range of values to be counted, and value 2 is additional values or any additional ranges to be counted. For this count function to get executed, we need at least one argument, so that is the reason value 2 can be an optional argument.
Okay, let us do an example about count function where we will take a column with some random data with different data types and try to understand what we have learned so far. Okay, let me name my column to be random data column, and let's say my first value to be 5 and 10. Let's say the next data point to be a date value. Let's say 24. Let's do another chunk data like just an equal to sign, and let's do a calculation which is a division by 0 so that it produces an error for us. And let's use a float type value, and let's use a boolean value is a text value and an alpha numeric value. Okay, so let's try to count uh, the number of cells in this column. We have a total of 9 data points. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But according to the count function definition, count only will count the cells which have numeric data. So according to the definition, 5 will get counted, 10 will get counted, 3, 10, 20, 24. This is a date format. Date format is a culmination of three different numeric types: month, year, and date separately. That is the reason count function will consider this to be a numeric value, and it will still count this. Equal to is a non-numeric, so it will ignore. This is an error. As I said, errors will be ignored. This is a float value and it's a numeric value. So this will be considered false boolean value, ABC, a random text. 2D, this is an alphanumeric, so even this will be ignored. Let us check. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our count function should return 4 as the answer if we count A2 to A10. Let us check. Count of A2 to A10 should return 4. Boom. This is what we were expecting, and this is what is the answer output. Let us check even in detail which cell was counted and which was ignored. Count of, count of, let's say A2. This is counted. Let us just drag and drop As I said, equal to was a non-numeric. This is an error. False is Boolean. ABC is a text, and 2D is alphanumeric. All those are ignored, and only 5, 10, and date type and 99.99. These four were considered.
Next up, we have the COUNTIF function. Just as the name says, count if. That means count if it meets the condition. This function is used to count the number of cells within a range if it meets a specific condition or a criteria. Just like the count function, even this COUNTIF function is only applied to numeric data, and it ignores empty cells, text cells, error cells, and any other non-numeric data. The syntax is we just have to say equals to COUNTIF. The first argument is the range and the second argument is the criteria, where range is the range of cells for which we want to apply the criteria, and criteria is the condition used to determine which cells we need to count.
Now let us do a simple example of what we have learned with COUNTIF function so far. Let us take 10 student names and their exam scores, and let us find out the number of students uh, who have scored more than 75 points. My first column would be student name, second column name would be exam score, and let us say student names to be student 1, student 2, and let us have the exam scores as 80, 76, 89, 70, 69, 76, 82, 99, 76, 74. Okay, according to our understanding, if we use a count if function with a condition greater than 75, that means this cell needs to be counted, this cell has to be counted, this one has to be counted, this will be ignored, this 69 will be ignored, 76 will be counted, 82 will be counted, 99 will be counted, 76 will be counted, and 74 will be ignored. So let us check. Equals to count if of, I'm giving my range as A2 to B2 to B11, and my criteria would be greater than 75. Okay, so 70, 69, and 74 were ignored, and we now have the count to be as 7, which is what we've expected. The next is the COUNTIFs function, which is basically an extension to the COUNTIF function. It allows us to count the number of cells that meet multiple criteria. This is useful when we need to apply several conditions simultaneously. For the syntax, we just have to write equal to COUNTIFs, range 1, criteria 1, range 2, criteria 2, so on and so forth. For range 1, the first range of cells that we want to apply the first criteria. Criteria 1 is the first condition to be met on range 1. Range 2, criteria 2 is the corresponding second range and the second condition correspondingly. Okay, Let's just do a simple example for the COUNTIFS function. Uh, let's do a product name and its category and the sales price, and we will do a count if based on the category as well as the price conditions, and we'll try to implement the count ifs function. It's blazer, smartphone, leather couch, woman's t-shirt. The corresponding categories for smart TV would be electronics and clothing. Smartphone is again electronics. This would be furniture. This would be clothing. Let's say for sales price, smart TV would be $350. This men's blazer would be $100. Smartphone would be $300. Leather couch somewhere around $600. And woman's t-shirt would be $250. Let's change the formats. Okay, let's say wow. Okay, let us use this as a use case. We need to count the number of products within electronics whose sales price was more than $200 equals to count ifs my criteria range would be B2 to B6. I'm saying electronics, and my criteria range 2 would be sales price column from C2 to C6, and my condition would be greater than 200. There you go. Under electronics, there are only two products under electronics, and both of them are actually about 200. So our observation of 2 is correct. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like our content, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to Data Karma YouTube channel, a one-stop solution to all your data questions.